Okay, within this video here, we're going to go through the integral role of a social media manager. Now, let's all be honest here. Every single business who's doing phenomenally well in today's age is their presence online is strong. They have a complete foothold on their market. And I think when it comes down to leveraging the systems and the technology that we have, most often than not, these businesses already have a game plan in place. They have a plan of attack where they're constantly not only educating, not only adding value to their audience, but also asking the question and making the commitment online, whether it be lead generation, whether it be making the sale. The social media manager, their role is to essentially help out not only the paid ad specialist, but also ensuring that the business has that front and center when it comes to their branding online. So what we'll do, we'll go through the key responsibilities. Number one, content scheduling. There's many tools out there. There's a plethora of them. All you've got to do is identify if the tool that you've got in mind actually posts to the most credible platforms out there. So Facebook, Instagram, potentially WhatsApp as well. At this point in time, if you've got the key platforms that you're posting to, YouTube included, Twitter or X, then most often with these platforms, they're either partners with the platforms or they've got some integration that's quite easy. High Level, as an example, has all those features. Secondly, we're looking at the content analysis as well, like not only posting and scheduling out the post, but how is it resonating with the market? Is there analytics and is there data that you can identify that this post actually succeeded in terms of eyeballs, in terms of engagement, or did this post sort of bust? And if you have that information, you can further refine exactly what the market is looking for and what the market, more importantly, is resonating with. Thirdly, we've got the strategy development. So usually within these tools, they either have AI built in, or they've also got just some scope on actually what works, what doesn't, what to look out for, how to actually look out for pieces of content that the platform and the scheduling platform integrates and identifies within, say, Facebook, Meta, Instagram. So there's a lot of nuance behind the features that these platforms can do, and if you can really understand it, you can actually leverage this data-driven insights to succeed online. Also, audience engagement. Now, again, I spoke about this within, I think, the second point. But if we're able to identify what content works, identifying the engagement with the followers, comments, messages. So let's take, for example, Go High Level. What you're able to do when you send out a post is actually, and this is more of like a tip anyway, is the platform doesn't reward you for pushing people off. So as an example, if you have within your post a hyperlink to, let's just say, a landing page or to the website, then Facebook, Instagram, these platforms know that, hey, you're trying to take their audience away from where they essentially want them to be, stuck in there. So within High Level, what you're able to do is to not only post it out there, but also have the first comments. Now, usually when you see businesses out there, let's just say media companies or publishing companies, they say, have a hook, or they have something within the description and a really good imagery. And then they say, if you want to look at the article, check out the first comment down below. And that's where they put the hyperlink to take them away. Facebook doesn't usually penalize it. I'm sure Facebook acknowledges it, but they don't do anything. Again, this is why High Level's provided that option, along with other platforms out there. And then last but not least, we have the brand consistency. Now, when it comes to creating content, you want to make sure that the brand is obviously portrayed in the right light. So the branding, the identity, the color themes of it. And also you need to ensure that there's congruency. So if you're a business that is, let's just say, full of energy, hype, and that's just who you are, then the next thing would be ensuring that that's portrayed online as well. Next, we have the required skills. Now, let's be frank, if they're able to leverage the platform, if they're able to identify the actual content that is resonant with the audience out there, you can really do some phenomenal things. My point about this, though, is that it's relatively cheap to have these assets within the business, and as long as they understand, I guess, to a certain degree, human psychology, understand the ability to create effective copy, and also to be able to communicate well and communicate effectively to an audience. That's essentially the type of person that you'd want to bring on board, or at least look out for when you're looking to hire a social media manager. They also need to be or at least have the ability to learn. I think one of the key things that we find within RH Media is that we don't really, yes, they need to have a little bit of experience, but if we can see attitude, we can see that they actually want to actually learn about the role that they have been thrusted upon, then most often than not, you can sort of teach that. And usually if you do get someone who has that interest and has that passion around what they want to do on social media or online, you can nurture them to be exactly what you want them to. So yeah, that's is pretty cool. And they need to have some creative thinking as well, just around content creation. They need to identify what's working out there and try to put their flavor or spin onto it as well. Now let's have a look at the effective strategies when it comes to social media management and creation. Now, when we look at the curation of the content, we need to ensure that there's a mixture. Let's use home improvement as an example. We need to showcase the project, make sure that people are buying into the before and after, or the story between it. We also need to understand how effective testimonials are. So you don't generally ask for a testimonial during a build. Most often than not, you get that after. Now, sometimes you can strategize and actually, if you can identify that the customer is fully pumped about the job, maybe more works have come through. So if you're able to capture that, or if you're able as a business owner to go, I'm actually going to ask Mary about how she's found it so far, but then also hopefully Mary's able to explain a little bit more about the effectiveness, the work. And again, putting this out there on social media, putting this out there in front of your target audience can really showcase not only the before and after, but also what goes into it, the professionalism, the level of standards, the ability to think on your feet, depending on how some of the projects don't usually or they usually showcase a few things that were hidden. So if you're able to identify the customer's feedback potentially during that build, it goes a hell of a long way when it comes to showcasing just the level of detail you go to. And then again, based on the industry, curating the right content. So you don't really want an e-commerce strategy or content creation for a home improvement company, and vice versa. You want to make sure that what is resonating with the market, so they should be able to have the research done, and then apply those that format at least for that piece of content. Now let's have a look at the platforms that's possible. So as I spoke about beforehand, you can have later.com, you can have Buffer, Hootsuite, Go High Level. There's a heap of platforms out there. Just find one that resonates with you, or at least ticks the boxes on what you want to be able to do in terms of posting out to the platforms that work for you, and ensure that they're using it, or at least offering that. All right, now let's have a look at measuring the analytics. Now it's not hard at all. All we need to do is, number one, are we getting eyeballs onto it? And is the platform favoring it? Most often than not, we see that through engagements like likes, comments, and shares. Secondly, with the audience that we're targeting, are we resonating with them? Can we see a slight growth in followers? Can we see a slight growth in subscribers? Thirdly, with the social media content out there, are we actually seeing some bleed through over to the website or over to our landing page? Are we really, saying the right message, putting out the right offers to then get people to move to the next step? And ultimately, on social media, the platforms own the data, which is why we're so very bullish about. It's all good and well to build out a strong following, but what if Instagram falls over the next day? What if Facebook goes? All that data goes with that platform. So the sooner we can get them from those platforms into your control, so again, whether it be on the website with a newsletter download, whether it be on a landing page where they've got to submit their details for either booking in a call with you or downloading a PDF or whatever you're offering, get that information off those platforms as soon as possible and into your control. And then looking at the conversion rates for the campaigns. So usually the social media manager teams up with the paid ad specialist, and usually they have those conversations about, okay, this is the angle or this is the offer we're putting out there. We need content that's going to propel it or further push a lot of attention to what we're offering. So again, if we look at the funnel at the top, we have the engagement, we have the eyeballs, and we have the people coming through and just browsing. And as we start to filter down the funnel to ultimately the offer or ultimately the call to action, then we need to make sure everything, as I said beforehand, is congruent and everything is aligning with the brand image. And going through the analytics tools. Now, these platforms usually have, as I said, tools that you can leverage. There's AI built in these days. So if you're able to really analyze the data and see maybe some of the edges that you have over other competitors or other businesses in your space, then you can really narrow in and dial in exactly how your messaging should be, ensuring that your flavor and your values are portrayed in there. And this is where that social media manager really identifies, the key content that works, and then would essentially ask you to further, create that. So if we're looking at customer testimonials, and if we have a really healthy pipeline and we're constantly seeing really, really happy customers, most often than not, that social media manager would go, hey, just check this out. This is our strength. This is what we do best at. Just look at what our clients are saying about it. And as I said in many of our videos, it's always that third-party validation that really helps move the needle when it comes to either closing new leads or further getting more out of your existing customers. Beautiful. So you can go through the key metrics there and the analytical tools. Now let's have a look at adapting strategy-based on data insights. So I think I may have touched on it beforehand, but these social media managers should identify what works and then further optimizing what that strategy should be when it comes to content creation. And then lastly, looking at the engagement and growth. Now usually you should have have an understanding, for let's just say the month or two that we've been working alongside our social media manager, are we starting to see content growth? As an example, now this is outside of the home improvement space, we have a client who's in the youth development. So ex-NRL boy, William Hopewadi, he and his business partner, Wolfgram, now those boys actually gave away a free PS5 to build out their following. Now, they obviously invested money into purchasing the PS5, but what they did really, really well was that they actually got people to like the post, they got people to follow, and they also got people to tag 3 friends. Now, if that's the audience that you're targeting and you have an audience that resonates with a PS5 or maybe a consultation valued at $400, let's just say for life coaches, business coaches, if you're able to put out an offer that resonates, then you'd be able to increase the growth and increase the audience that's on your social media platforms. So that's what the boys have done, and I think just within the first 24 to 48 hours, they had 3 times their existing follower count. So you can imagine how that's going to consistently go as the 2 weeks elapses. So, and also these platforms know if there's getting a healthy amount of people coming through and engaging with that post, it's going to show a hell of a lot more people that it believes would resonate. So these boys, I think they've got about 3,500 likes. They've got several hundred, maybe getting closer to 1,000 comments. Now, if you can imagine most of those comments that has and tagged 3 of their friends, I mean, let's just say 100 times 3. There's potential to exponentially, really get this post viral. And off the back of it, they've got credibility around having an ex-NRL boy pushing it. Then, really proud of the boys and really proud of their active persistence on, identifying what works and really, I guess, leaning into that. So again, just to conclude this and just to complete this, that manager that you bring on board has a crucial role on how the brand is perceived online. Literally, the way that the brand is perceived on social media is usually the first touch point that business has. So if I scroll through and I see your business and it's really either engaging the content, I'm getting a lot of value, or better yet, I'm able to capture the, let's just say capture the attention of myself or anyone else within that targeted demographic, then you'll really see the effectiveness of this individual. And if they're giving you analytics and they're giving you data and they're liaising with you and asking the right questions about, what is it that we stand for, but then also what have we found in the past that has worked with our existing clients. If their role is to then push that out and then capture the attention, the engagement, the audience that you essentially want for the business, then they become a valuable asset to the team. So again, that there is the role of the social media manager.